Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you, I was looking at them and a lot of them are actually hyped, but I want to share with you fragrances that are a little bit challenging and certainly aren't blind buy worthy. These are ones that you want to sniff before you buy. They're ones that I personally have either found challenging or are still finding them challenging. That said, I think that they're all really quite great fragrances. But yeah, especially the hyped up ones, which I'll share which ones are hyped up. You know, people go ahead and buy these because they go, oh, wow, you know, these are amazing. And they hear about them all the time to find out that, oh, it's an extremely challenging fragrance potentially. So can't wait to share. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community. And without further ado, let's get into this. So the first fragrance, I just mentioned it recently, and it's Desire 2 by Dua, and this is the inspired version of Cruz del Sur 2 by Xerjoff. Now, what makes this one challenging is that it's a mango fragrance, gets a little bit kind of smoothie-like as it dries, so that kind of sweeter mango, a little bit creamy. But what makes it challenging is the fact that this mango is very green. So not, you know how some green fragrances, they smell like grass or they smell like lime. This smells like underripe mango. So that's a bit of a weird smell to me. Any underripe fruit, like I'm thinking underripe banana, I don't really like the smell of it. I like that rich banana. Underripe mango, it's got that green aspect. I prefer ripened mango, that sweet, juicy, mouth-watering mango. This is definitely more green. Now that said, I keep sniffing it, I keep wearing it, and more I'm kind of intrigued by this one. So when I sniff it, I kind of go, ugh. And when I wear it, I kind of go, ugh. But something about it is just, I'm liking it. So, yeah, I'm not willing to get rid of this one because there's something that's intriguing about this one. And I enjoy wearing this with something that's a little bit sweeter, that kind of brings that sweet component in there. But it certainly is not blind buy worthy. I know my friend Hessie, she bought Cruz del Sur 2 and took one sniff, I think, and sold it because she's just like, it's just too green. So definitely not blind buy worthy. Now, this fragrance got a lot of hype on the internet, and it is Rare Tiffany by AFNAN. Now, the cool thing about this fragrance is it's uber affordable, so great price on it. I love the color of that bottle. The fragrance inside, it's primarily yellow/white floral. So there's jasmine, ylang ylang, and rose in this. I don't get any rose. I get a lot of ylang ylang and white florals. But to me, it doesn't smell like banana ylang ylang, like the banana-y kind. It smells much more yellow floral, if that makes sense. So that tropical yellow floral smell that you get in certain fragrances, it's in here. This has vanilla, it's got some caramel, some ginger, but primarily it's a very, very floral forward fragrance. Now, I find that a lot of people enjoy orange blossom, a lot of people enjoy rose, but when it comes to something that's yellow floral, or just more traditional floral smelling, it can be a little bit hard to take. So this one is certainly not blind buy worthy. If you love florals, maybe you would enjoy this. If you love white florals, you still may not enjoy this because you're getting more of that yellow. It's kind of sweet. It's a little bit sticky. It almost feels as if, you know, if you got a lot of pollen in your nose, just, you know, it's a little bit in the head. That's a little bit what you get in this one. So you have to love florals to love this one. It does have the caramel, it does have the vanilla, but not enough to overpower those florals that stay present the whole entire time. Like I said, lots of hype, but I can see it being a major disappointment for a lot of people. This one, I have to be in the mood to wear. I do enjoy it, but I definitely have to be in the mood. One of you mentioned this fragrance and said, you know, how come nobody talks about this fragrance? It's such a great fragrance. And so I thought I would mention it because it is a great fragrance, great price on it. It was hyped up for a while on YouTube, but it is a bit challenging, and that is Lalique Le Parfum. Now, first of all, the bottle on this is so beautiful. there's kind of a face on the cap. So it's just really, really neat. Beautiful bottle, honestly, very heavy. And what you're primarily getting in this fragrance is a vanilla. It's a very classy, elegant vanilla. It's not too sweet. So I can see quite a few people liking it. That said, what makes this challenging is there's a bay leaf note in here. So I get the bay really prominently. So along with that vanilla, which isn't too heavy or too sweet, there's bay in here. So it's a little bit green, a little bit herbaceous. I just smell a lot of bay, and I've never really enjoyed the smell of bay. So as a result, this isn't a favorite. I find this one challenging. I don't want to get rid of it because it is a really elegant vanilla, and I just find it unique, and so I can't part with it. It's one I should talk about more. So I just want to thank, I can't remember who it was. Sometimes I write it down, sometimes I don't, but thank you for mentioning this because it is a really great vanilla option and so affordable, but you've got to like bay leaf. So if you smell bay leaf and you go, ugh, you might want to steer clear of this. Not that the bay leaf is overpowering, like it doesn't smell masculine, although honestly, this comes across as unisex to me. So anyway, this is a neat option. The bay leaf definitely makes it challenging. And it lasts a decent amount of time on the skin too. Like I could smell it all day. Now this fragrance was hyped up for a while. I have the older bottle, but it is Insolence by GUERLAIN. Now this, first of all, I hate this bottle. Like I just think the bottle is weird. Some people love the look of this bottle, but I'm not one of them. This one is violets. So it was so hyped up on YouTube for a while, a couple of years back, and everyone's like, this is a fairy fragrance. It smells like candied violets. I still have yet to smell candied violets. I've never seen them anywhere. I've looked for them just because people go, you haven't smelled candied violets? Like, where have I been all my life? Like, I don't know why I haven't smelled candied violets, but I've never smelled them, never tasted them. Maybe that would change my mind on this, but violet is a very powdery floral. To me, violet also smells cool. So it's a cold powder feel to this fragrance. There is a sweetness. It is relaxing. It's a fragrance that I occasionally will wear to bed. There's something about it that I find intriguing and I don't want to get rid of it. But it's not one I reach for very often because I find the violet powderiness to be a little bit like off-putting. It's not my typical MO. That said, if you are a fan of violets, this should be a staple in your collection. As far as it being like a fairy fragrance, this is not what I think of when I think of fairies. But I guess like it's very delicate. It's very light. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting fragrance. You gotta like violets. I'm not the hugest fan. Definitely challenging. Sometimes I enjoy it, but most of the time, if I put it on, I regret it. Next fragrance. This one has been the biggest surprise, and it is London Funk by VILHELM Parfumerie. Now, this fragrance, when I first smelled it, I'm like, this is so weird. There's, I think, a cannabis note in here. There's a kind of a gin and tonic feel to this. It's a little bit sour, and I'm not talking like tart, I'm talking sour. So it's a very, very weird fragrance to me. Very, very unique. It's a little bit more masculine. There's juniper in here. It's just a very interesting scent profile. The opening has kind of the brighter kind of bergamot feel, but then it quickly dries down to more of a gin and tonic feel. And it smells to me like if I were smelling a gin and tonic, that's what this would smell like. Bizarrely, I find it extremely refreshing. So at first I found this off-putting, didn't want to wear it, never thought I would wear it. And now I really, really enjoy this. It's very great for hot weather. putting this on. I like to pair this just to make it a little more feminine with something a little bit sweeter. So something like Pesho Yuzu, or if you have mango skin mixed with this would be a really interesting combination. So really, really enjoy this fragrance, but I'm really shocked that I like this one because it's so not my typical scent profile. And it's definitely the most unique fragrance I've smelt. But that said, there's something about it that I just love. And to be honest, weirdly, there's a little bit of almost like a BO smell to this somehow. So I know I'm not, I think it's the cannabis. I don't know what it is about it, but I literally find this addictive. Like I love sniffing it. Like I can't stop sniffing this one. I just really, really enjoy it. But I'm just so shocked because it's so weird, so different than anything that I have in my collection. On its own, I find it a little bit much. It's a little bit too masculine, but paired with something a little bit sweeter, I really enjoy this. It's really, really refreshing. I think that's the thing that I love about it. No challenging fragrance would be complete without including Tom Ford's Black Orchid. The purple orchid, gold orchid, any sort of orchid from Tom Ford is definitely weird. I'm starting to like it more and more. This is my zombie fragrance. To me, this is what you wear if you're a zombie queen, part of the undead. You wear this because it smells so indolic. Like it makes your nose go like this. Some people find this so sexy. It's definitely intriguing. And I'm so glad I have a small bottle so I can sniff it every once in a while. Sometimes I get that indolic smell, and it does. It smells like it's rotting flowers or something. Other times I get almost a hint of cherry in here, a hint of booziness. So it's one that my nose doesn't agree with. You know, if I were going as a zombie for Halloween, I may choose to wear this. Anytime I've put it on my skin, I've regretted it like all day. Like I want to wash it off, but it just doesn't go off. Like it just stays on your skin forever. So not a huge fan at all. You either love this one or you hate it. For me, it's still a major hate, but I can't stop sniffing it. It's just one of those things. It's like, you know, like it's just like you can smell it even like this, but I kind of like it. Like it's kind of like smelling farts. You know, someone farts and goes, oh, excuse me. Everybody, like if you're just honest, admit it. When someone blows a fart, very few people hold your breath. Most people go, what is that? And keep smelling it. So this is definitely what I would not consider. I wouldn't consider this to be some alluring, sexy thing. It's one of those off-putting, horrible smells that you can't stop sniffing, but nevertheless, some people love it. I'm not one of them. Another fragrance that I wanted to mention, I hear about it quite often on the internet, and it's one of the more palatable from AMOUAGE, but it still is challenging, and that is Sunshine. Sunshine, it has osmanthus in it. It's got almond. It's got white tobacco flower. It's a very, very unique fragrance. I really enjoy this. I find it very relaxing. I love the almond, osmanthus, white tobacco flower combination. It feels a little humid. It's very relaxing. This fragrance can be worn all year round. When I first put it on, I was like, ugh, what is this? I just thought it was horrible. But the more I wore it, the more I enjoyed it, and the more I feel like it kind of morphs while it's on your skin. Super long lasting, beautiful, beautiful, like very, very unique fragrance. But certainly this is not one I would recommend to just blind buy because it's so different. Most people that I've let smell this haven't enjoyed it. So it's not a fragrance that the majority of people that I know of like. That said, I love this one. I really, really love it. That's what, like I started off with a sample and ended up with a full bottle. So glad I have this one. Another fragrance that I consider challenging is GREASQUE by SORA DORA. Now, I happen to love this, but every person that I've let smell it that's a female doesn't doesn't want to wear this one. And it's because it has basil and mint in it. I get more mint. My sister, she gets more basil. And so for her, it's just like, ugh, no. What I love about this fragrance is you've got this mint basil, so very herbaceous opening that lasts at least an hour, hour and a half. And then that starts to dissipate and you're left with this delicious caramel fragrance, which to me is the most unique thing I've ever seen. So I love this fragrance. It's definitely more masculine. I love smelling this on my husband. I think it's uber sexy. I enjoy wearing it because I find it really cooling because of the minty aspect. But I can see a lot of people finding this, especially as a female fragrance, very, very challenging. I happen to love mint, so I really, really like this fragrance. The beauty of this one is that mint and basil project for about an hour and a half, but then it becomes more of a skin scent and you're left with this caramel vanilla that's just delicious. So such a weird fragrance, definitely, definitely challenging for most people. Another fragrance that I feel is very challenging has been hyped up, but certainly not blind buy worthy, and that would be Lalique's Amethyst. Now, I know many of you have purchased this and you actually enjoy it, but it certainly isn't what it seems on Fragrantica. So on Fragrantica, it looks like you're getting all these delicious berries, when in actuality, it's very much a green, underripe berry feel, paired with the leaves and the stems of the berries. It's quite woody, yet refreshing and watery. So it's an interesting fragrance. I really, really enjoy this fragrance. I think it's refreshing. I find it relaxing. And it's just different than what I have. But this one is more mature, so I can see some people not enjoying this at all. And if you think that you're getting a big fruity bowl, like a big blackberry, strawberry bowl, you're not. You're getting very, very green, woody, leafy fruits. So yeah, this one is definitely a challenge for some. When I first smelled this, I just thought, ugh, it's just way too, like, it smelled old fashioned to me. But now I just literally love it. Like, more and more and more, this one grew on me, and it's just really, really, like, it's a staple in my collection. I have two more fragrances to share. The first one is Jasmine Wisp by Rasasi. The reason why I included this one is when I first smelt this, I was like, ugh, like, it just smelled so screechy. It still is screechy, but I absolutely love this one. It's got passion fruit, I think. There's, I think, guava in here. It's got lots and lots of notes in this one, but it's just a mosh of crazy, loud, abrasive fruits and flowers, and I just absolutely love it. It is quite obnoxious. I get compliments on this one all the time when I wear it. I also find that the longevity is like 10-12 hours. So it's a great fragrance, and especially for the price, it's just fantastic. This one was hyped up a lot on YouTube as well, but it is very abrasive, and I can see some people smelling it and going, what the heck is this? Like, it's horrible because it smells quite loud, abrasive, screechy somehow, but I still love it. So yeah, tell me what you think of this one. If you've tried it, weigh in and tell me, do you find it horrible or do you love it? But it certainly isn't blind buy worthy. And the last one is Angel Nova EDP. Now, I wish I had the EDT because I think the EDT version is simply gorgeous. I think the EDT is definitely blind buy worthy. I think most people would enjoy it. Angel Nova EDP, not so much. So this, some people say it's like Delina. Some people say, you know, like just find the raspberry to be amazing in this one. What I find this one to be is a very harsh kind of tart raspberry, slightly artificial. I think there's rose in this. It's sour and woody. I get a lot of woods in this. So I get more wood than rose. It comes across to me very, very harsh and abrasive. So this is one that I still can't quite get on with. Sometimes I like it. if I smell it on the cap, it smells amazing, but to me it smells more like the EDT on the cap. But on my skin, I just find it so strong, so abrasive. It doesn't really work for summer for me, but in the winter, it doesn't work for me either. Like, and it's a cold fragrance, like it's raspberry, rose, rhubarb, lychee, or whatever's in here, plus a heck of a lot of woods. But it just smells cold and unhappy. Like it's not jubilant to me. I can't get on with this one. I just can't. I wish I had the EDT because that one is stunning. The other thing about it is it lasts literally all day. Like you put it on, you're stuck with it for like 12 hours. So this one I really struggle with. Why? Like, why can't I love you? Some people really love it. I find it very challenging. This is probably the most challenging fragrance besides Lalique Le Parfum for me. So both for different reasons. I think the biggest thing with this one is the woods in it just really come out on my skin. So I just don't enjoy it. What about you? Do you love this one? Let me know. So those are, I think, 11 of my most challenging fragrances that I don't feel are blind buy worthy. What about you? What do you think of these? Do you like these? If you've tried them, weigh in. Tell me which ones you like and which ones you don't. Do you think any of them are blind buy worthy? If so, like if you disagree with me, leave it in the comments. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week and we'll talk to you soon.